Really quick, I just want to confirm that you guys on Zoom are able to see my screen. It says Google. Yeah. Amanda, give me a head nod. I can see you. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we're going to talk about Google Forms. This is one of my favorite things that Google offers. It is a lifesaver for me. I use this for surveys. I use it for forms that allow me to help you guys with specific things that you need. You can utilize this all sorts of different ways, but I'm going to show y'all how to create them and then give you a few ideas on how to implement them. Most of us have Google email addresses and things of that nature. So we use Google Calendar, Gmail, Google Drive. Well, you also have access to Google Forms. So what you're looking at, I'm working in Chrome. If you're not working in Chrome, I would encourage you to work within Chrome. It's the preferred browser for all of the RE/MAX technology, so as well as ours here at RE/MAX One. So you'll go to Google. The quickest way is to click on this little grid of dots right over here, kind of in the right-hand corner. You'll click on it and you're going to see all of the Google apps. So again, Slides, Google Drive, Google My Business, so on and so forth. The one that we're looking for is purple and it says Forms. So you're going to click on that and it's going to open in a new window. You're going to see right at the beginning some templates here at the top. So maybe you want to know, you're going to do a survey on how your buyers felt about working with you so that you can improve, or maybe what you can do better the next time you have a seller. You can start by utilizing a template if you like, and you can look at all of them by clicking on that little arrow. Okay, so they're all in here. Maybe it's an RSVP. Maybe it's a party invitation, right? All sorts of little things. Contact information, t-shirt signups, registration. You guys get the picture, but this is where you can find all those templates. And where I was here at the top, and you just click on these arrows to expand. Or if you're like me, you can create one from scratch. So in that case, you would just click on blank and we'll create one in here in just a bit. But all of them, once they're created, are here. Okay, so it keeps a nice little library all put together. And these are all of the Google Forms that we work with all the time. So if you guys are familiar with my Sunday email, you'll notice that there are buttons at the bottom of that email. Those buttons are connected to these Google Forms. So whenever you click on one and you tell me, hey, I need help with my Booge website, it's going to take you to the Booge website builder form, which should be up here at the top because I utilize it all the time. Yep, right there. It's connected to this form right here. I'll click on it just so you guys can see. And then this is where it takes you so that you fill out the form. Once it's submitted, it comes back to me. And here's my very favorite thing about Google Forms. Not only can you tell it that you want to be emailed whenever you have a new response, which you would do that by clicking on responses and then the menu. And then you'll check that box. You want to be emailed anytime your form has a new response. Okay. But here's the best part. See this little Google Sheets symbol? You click on that and all of the responses that ever came in from any of the forms are going to be in a separate spreadsheet. Oh my goodness, you guys, that is a giant time saver because for things that are like surveys, for things that you just need to kind of see a one summarized viewpoint of, it does it for you automatically. You don't have to copy and paste. You don't have to click in between them. It does it for you automatically. And that is so, so helpful. Okay. So getting back to creating one, I'm going to click on forms again, and we're going to create one from scratch. So I'm going to click on blank right there at the left-hand side, click on that, and then that's how I'm going to create my form. As is the case with most everything in Google, it's auto saving as you're working. So you don't have to worry about, clicking on save. It's saving as you work. So you'll go up here and you'll click on untitled form to give it a title. Test form. You can also add a description to let the person who is filling out the form know what the form is about, what it's being used for. You can thank them for filling it out, whatever you feel like is most appropriate. Okay. It's letting you know the form is automatically collecting emails for the users. You can change these settings. You're going to collect the emails. You don't have to have these. I sometimes check these response receipts. They can basically what this is that they receive a copy of their responses. You'll know when you want to use that and when you don't. I usually just uncheck it because it's very rare that you guys are going to want a copy of it anyway, because it's just one more email in your inbox. Requires a sign in. In other words, do they have to sign into their Gmail account, their Google account, in order to complete the form? I usually uncheck that box because I don't know where it's going to go out to, you know, and how often I need to send it. So I need it to be open. I hardly ever check this box where a respondent can go back into their form and edit a response. That is a very complicated thing for me to keep track of, so I don't want any part of it. So I always leave that unchecked. Again, utilize your judgment here, but totally up to you on how you do that. If you click on presentation, you can show a little progress bar at the bottom as they work through. You can shuffle the way that the questions are presented. And then you can show a link to submit another response if they wanted to. I always click on that to uncheck it because I don't want multiple responses, okay? You can also update the confirmation message. So this is what they'll see whenever they submit the form. You can customize that as much as you like. Save. All right. So there we go. You can go back into those settings as well and go to quizzes. You can make that a quiz. This is fun for like, if you're like sending it as a game with your clients, like how well do you know, I don't know, if you're on a team, how well do you know the Beckford team? How well do you know the Lynn Jackson team or whatever? If you're doing anything kind of a quiz or making it fun, that would be a way to do that. All right. You can also access the settings right up here, again, with the little 3 dots. It helps you to see a couple of other preferences and types of settings. One thing that I'd like to call to y'all's attention, because we utilize this function with onboarding quite a bit, is this option to get a pre-filled link. This is helpful because if you know, for example, their name, the address, you can fill that out for them and then send them the form so that it's less blanks that they have to attend to. And it customizes it for them too, so that they can kind of see that you're already like, okay, for example, like a pre-listing questionnaire. We talk about that in listing conversion, where it's like, how long have you lived in the home? Why are you selling? Are you the sole owner of the property? Who are the owners? If there's more than one, husband and wife. If you knew that information, you could pre-fill that out so that they don't have to. And it allows you to kind of say, hey, I put in the data that I knew. Can you just let me know if anything's off? Okay, that's where a pre-filled link comes in handy. For us with onboarding, we utilize it in a little bit of a different way, to where we'll fill out the agent's name, their license number, their phone number, all the things that we know. Are they an individual member? Are they a team member? Are they a team leader? Which office do they belong to? We fill all that out. What's their financial plan? And then we send them the rest, so they just fill in the blank. Okay, that's how you would do that. And then to add your questions in, you just start. Test question, if I could type it, A. And then here's something else that I want to call to y'all's attention. You have different ways that you can provide them with ways that they can answer a question. So for example, maybe you wanted them to, you send this to a seller and you want them to upload a copy of their survey. That would require the file upload option as a way that they can answer that question. So I would click on file. So then you would say, okay, let respondents upload files to Drive. Why is it asking you that? Because just like it prepares that Google sheet for you with all the answers, what it also does is that it saves all of the things, all of the files that they upload into Google Drive in a folder automatically, so that you can go and retrieve it whenever you want. It creates a folder in your Google Drive that says, it's typically whatever the form's name is. Like for my form, it would be the personal information form. I click on it, and then all their headshots are uploaded. Their IABS files are uploaded. All these things that I need to get them set up is automatically archived and filed away from me. The best thing ever. The best thing ever. So you'll allow permission for Google Drive to accept those files. And you also have the ability to only accept specific file types. This comes in handy because if you are requesting something like a survey, that needs to be a PDF or it needs to be an image. Okay, so I can say I want it to be a PDF or an image. I don't want to accept a PowerPoint file. I don't want to accept anything other than what I'm asking for. Okay, that comes in handy. You can say I only want one file, or in our example, if it's a survey, maybe it's you move it up to 5 if they have like an image and multiple views of it, who knows. You can also set the maximum file size so that they don't send you some giant file that you have to put on your computer. You can do 1 megabyte, 1 gigabyte. 1 megabyte is plenty big. It should not be more than that. And then you're done. You can also set whether or not the question is required. I like to require all of them because otherwise, what's the point of having a form if they don't complete it in its entirety? I like to require it, but if you don't, if it's not that big of a deal to you, you just move that little slider.
I think it just depends on the audience, because you're working with people where you're doing something for them, but we're trying to get their business, and so they may not trust us enough to give us everything.
Yeah. Yep, use your judgment there. Totally up to you. Now, that's how you can create that type of question. To do more, you can click on the little plus sign to add a new question. If you want to dress up your questions, you can also add images. This is really helpful. So if you're trying to say, you know, I need to know,
Pictures of surveys.
yeah, this is the document that I'm looking for. This is the document. This is sort of what it looks like. Or if you work with mobile homes, this is what that little tag looks like that I need to know in order to verify if it's you know, if I can lend on it or whatever, y'all would know better than me on that. But for people who are like, huh, like what's a survey, or what is this? That would be a really good way to incorporate an image in here. We do this whenever we ask people, do you want option A for a business card or do you want option B? And then they pick, and that's what we do. Do you want this type of email signature or do you want this type of email signature? They click one, and that way we know. Comes in handy. Very, very helpful to be visual. You can also add a video. This is awesome. So for those of you who are utilizing this with your buyers and sellers, or maybe your investors, and you have to explain why it's important to have a survey or why it's important to have, I don't know, a seller's disclosure totally and completely filled out, whatever it is. You guys can put it on here and say things like, hi, thank you so much. You're doing great on this form. Here's what this means, and here's why it's so important. And you can upload that video right into the Google form so that they can play it while they're trying to fill out your form. I love this. Even if you just attach a video and it's just a general like, hey, how are you? It's so whatever. You know, if you have one for buyers, you have one for sellers, you've got one for people who are leasing property or all of the above. It can be just kind of a generic video that's at the top. It doesn't even have to be connected to a question. You can attach it that way. The sky's the limit on how creative you can be with that part of it. So to add a new question, I would just click on that little plus sign right there, and it's going to go right there. Other types of answer types, I guess, short answer and paragraph. If you're asking an open-ended question and you want to know feedback, if you need to know if they need to explain something, these are really good answer choices. Short answer and paragraph. I choose paragraph because it gives them more space to work with. So paragraph looks like that. I'm going to do a new question. You can do a linear scale. So on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being terrible, 5 being great. Tell me what you think. And then terrible for a 1, great for a 5. There you go. Are y'all understanding kind of how it works? Multiple choice. I really like check boxes too. This is the last one I'll show you, and then I'll show you guys kind of some ways to incorporate them. So you can also update your answer choices. So we'll just do A. Click on add an option, or if you guys see here, the little suggestions pop up. So that's just a way to save you time. You can add all of them. It starts to kind of say, okay, I can kind of see where you're going. Can I help you out? Click on add them all, and there you go. So that you don't have to physically add them yourself. I like to add others sometimes because that allows them to type in something that's not an answer choice, which can be helpful in some instances. And then when you have your form the way that you like it, the last thing that I would show you, let me move this box up. Do you guys see these little tools up here? It kind of looks like a little, whatever that's called. What is that called? Like a paint palette?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You can click on that and you can choose the way that it looks. So if y'all saw what some of my other forms look like, I have a custom header at the top that has like the Remax One logo and the name of the form. That's created in Canva. And all I do is save it and I import it to be the top
I
of
didn't want to know.
my form.
Okay, so is that where you did it through the choose image?
Yep. So if I wanted to, I could go to choose image.
What is your size in Canva?
I can tell you.
Okay.
There's some themes here. So like if you didn't want to create one and you just wanted to choose, of course you can choose whichever one you like. Click on insert. And this is the image. It's going to be the header image at the top. I like to customize it so that they know it's from me and that they know that they can feel confident completing
You
it.
can't change the colors though.
What-
Like when you click on the right on theme colors,
Uh-huh.
those other colors at the underneath are automatic. Like, you can't,
Well, you mean they're paired?
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like, I wanted to do the red, blue, and blah, 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 but like,
Yeah.
when you click red, it turns everything behind it into pink.
Mm-hmm.
And-
Yeah.
Which is not the colors we are.
Let me do this. I'm going to show you guys while I have you. Let's pray that that is the right password because I don't know what it is. Okay, good. It worked. All right. So let me show y'all where an example of that would be. Dun, dun, dun.
I think this is your favorite part of your job.
Here we go.
Yes,
Like,
because she does so good at it.
It is a very good creative outlet, I will say. Okay, so here is the most recent one. I created a form to attach to my BombBomb email that you guys can click a button to get help with your zip forms templates from Becca. Okay, so this is 1600 pixels by 400 pixels. So it's 1600 pixels wide, 400 pixels tall. Okay, Wait.
1600 by
400. Yes, ma'am. And so how do you guys do that? You would just go into file, create a new design, go to custom size, and then you would type in, what did I say, Ashley? 1600
by 4.
by 400. It defaults to pixels. You'll keep it there. Click on create a new design, and there's your box to work with. Okay, and everything works the same way, just like regular Canva stuff works. You'll upload whatever it is that you want to upload, your photos. Okay, you can drag that over. Wherever you like. You can add a background. You can do whatever you want to do. Okay, and then you end up with that. You will download it. It defaults to PNG. That's what I like to use. It's best for digital, like web environments. So it's going to be crispy and pretty. And then that would be the image that you would then choose as your header image right here. Okay. What happens though, Ashley, when you do, it's going to detect some of the colors in your header photo, and it'll try to give you complementary colors for the rest of the form. Okay. Okay, so you can also change the font. So I stick with basic a lot of the times, but you can also make it more formal, like if you're trying to get feedback or if that just is something that aligns well with your brand. Decorative, if you have an event, that would be really good to include that. You can do playful if that's more your style. I, again, stick with basic. Okay. Email notifications for Google Forms. Again, I want to be notified anytime I have a response so that I can then respond quickly. So make sure you do that every time you have a form. If you want more settings, they're right here. You just click on the little cog. We already went through these. I'm just showing you a couple of other places you can get it. And you can preview your form by clicking on that little eyeball. Okay, so if you wanted to kind of see it, what it looks like, you would click that. To send it, you have a few options. Okay, when you click on send, you want it to collect the emails because that's where it's going to go to that Google sheet. Okay, you can send it to an email directly. You can create a link, which is fun.
You can text them.
Yes,
Like,
you
every
can
time
text
somebody
them the
calls and
link.
asks me about properties, I go, listen, I have a link, I'd like to add you to my system and talk with you more about your purchase, like, would you be willing to share this
Mhm.
information with me? Sure. Now, I'm gonna send you a link when we hang up. And then I hang up, and then my business card, and I send them the link.
Boom, just like that.
And I get lots of buyers that way.
Yep. So if you guys had any trouble hearing what she says, Ashley was saying that she uses a link. You do a short link, right? She does a short link. You made it into a short link.
I went to the URL
Yep.
shortener in Mac Center, and I actually have mine, it's like, I don't know, but it's easy for me to remember. It's, Remax, it
Mhm.
has a weird hyphen in there,
Mhm.
and then it's AH buyer, AH seller.
Good.
So like, I just put them in my notes,
Mhm.
in my phone, and yeah, like forms right here. So like, this one says, call me, which is like, and then I have one, like, when people say, I have somebody that I want to refer you to, oh, look, would you mind if I text you a little link and you can put all that information in there? Because people
Yeah.
would send me like parts of their information.
Yeah.
And they know their email and they know their phone number, but they're not giving me it all, you know?
Mhm.
So I have one for buyers, sellers, just a call me one, and then a referral.
Right.
And so like, I just do like this, copy link, and then I just like text it to somebody.
There you go. So she's saying that she shortens the URL. So it's not this long hairy link that you guys see here. You can quickly shorten it by clicking on shorten URL, but it's not going to be branded. So what I would encourage you to do is take the full link, that's a mouthful, the full length link, and then utilize our free URL shortener in Mac Center that we went through last week. Because what will happen is that not only will it be branded, you get the analytics of how many times it was used, but you can also fully customize that link to where it says like HTTP, /rem.ax. They all start that way. / in Ashley's case, it was AH buyer. So then that's what she sends, that AH buyer link as a text message to a person who calls her wanting to start the process. So she's sending a link, tiny little branded link to her client in a text. They fill out the form. It comes straight back to her. It is awesome. So you can do a direct email link where you just type in their email. There's the subject. I always like to update this to where they know, or you can even put your name in here because you've already talked with them. You can also customize the message. It defaults to, I've invited you to fill out a form. Please fill in all of the blanks. And again, you can say whatever you like. And then I always like to put my name here too, so that they know it came from me.
Hey, Kristen.
Yeah.
So on sending these forms to like buyers, because this is actually something I've been trying to go, how do I do this? So we can collect all their information. Is that where too, we can have a video that kind of we've pre-recorded and gives them why we're needing this information?
Absolutely.
So it'll kind of like pop up the video, explain, and then that also kind of gives them who we are over the phone.
Exactly.
Or over the video. Okay.
Yes. All of the above. It is such a creative, very, very personalized way to not only get the information that you need, but you can add on to these forms with pictures and video in a way to truly make them feel like immersed in the experience. And it's such a good way to differentiate yourself rather than saying like, okay, well, go ahead and tell me all about it, right? Like so many agents do, because they're just kind of caught off guard. But this helps keeps you organized first and foremost. But it's also like, well, damn, like she's got it in a way that's systemized, and people are attracted to that because they feel like they're in good hands from day one.
Wow.
Well, and if some are like me, you have 1,000 notebooks that have 1,000 different people's names. And then you go, crap, which notebook did I write this in? And if this is like, you can send it from your car, you stop, you send them a video right then, and then you go back and that gives you a lead generating follow-up.
Ding, 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 ding.
Kristen, the day is amazing.
What she's not saying too is that you'll sit on the phone, like I can remember sitting on the phone in carpool line, calling somebody to get their email, their phone number, their address,
Mm.
like, you spend 5 minutes just collecting personal information.
Yeah,
They could have just put that in on the app when you hung up the phone with them.
That's right.
Like, you don't need to waste your time talking about that.
That is such a
Like,
time.
it
Mhm.
means something.
Ashley's
You are
really
so
gone deep on the
valuable,
form.
Kristen.
But I don't have any videos. I'm gonna ask them.
Yeah, you are. You are. You're gonna have some awesome videos in your forms.
I need to get that.
Uh-huh. So yeah, all of the above, Amanda, and that is such a good way to kind of connect the dots on how to really kind of amp it up even further. So great job. Okay, last thing, you can also share directly to social. Like if you really wanted like mass feedback, that's a really good way to just kind of like put that link onto your Facebook or on your Twitter. This is really good too. Like if you just kind of wanted to create more of a poll, like an informal poll where you just blanket it out on your social media and say, you know, as a buyer, what's most important to you? As a seller, what's most important to you? When you are communicated with by a realtor, do you prefer phone, text, email, snail mail, newsletter? Kind of like just very open-ended, just get a poll. And it's interesting because they're going to have to put their email address in here, you guys. They're going to have to. Or here's another idea. Create a form, share it as a link or share it straight from here onto Facebook. If you want to download my free buyer's guide, click the link, takes them to this form because they're requesting that you get their buyer's guide or whatever. Guess what you also get? Their email address. They have to put their email address in these forms because that's how it's making that spreadsheet. So it's a twofer. You get a legit email address that you can then add into your database and you're giving them something. And it allows you to follow up with them and say, hey, thanks so much for completing my form. It's so good to hear from you. As I promised, here's my free buyer's guide PDF. I would love to see you soon. Let's go have coffee. Done. And you add them into your database so that you can continue communicating with them. Okay. Do you have any questions on this part of it? Okay. If you want to send it as an email, you would just hit send. If you want to send it as a link, there's your link. I would highly encourage you guys to utilize the URL shortener. Do y'all know what I'm talking about when I say that? Okay. In Max Center, on the left-hand side, there's a little tool, little wrench. Click on it. It says tools, and it's in there. It's the URL shortener. You would copy this disgustingly long link, add it into the URL shortener tool. It's going to spit out a little custom link that starts with rem.ax/. It'll say like 3JDGB. You can edit that link to where it says buyer's guide or Lindsay Parrish home guide or whatever you want it to say, you have the ability to do that. If you didn't want to do that, you didn't want a branded link, you just click on shorten. There you go. Okay. But still, I don't know about y'all. If somebody sent that to me, I would kind of be like, is it a virus? I don't know. Not going to really click on it. That's why the URL shortener can come in handy because it's customized. They know it came from you, but also it's branded so that it's up here. Just one more layer. Okay. You can also embed this. This is helpful. You can include a little form in your website that sits on your website. So in other words, use this as like a lead capture tool, kind of like what we talked about. Like if you want to download my free whatever, here's the button. They click on it. It brings them to this form. They type in their email address and it allows you to follow up with them. Hey, you want a personalized home evaluation? You want a personalized tax discussion? Whatever. Click on it. Brings them to the form that you embed onto your website as a lead capturing tool, allows you to follow up with them as a one-to-one personal way, and the rest is history. Okay. This one, it says we can't do it because it wants them to upload a file. Just remove that option.
Yeah,
Okay. If you don't ever need file uploads, that's fine. And then you can embed that to where it sits like a little box on your website. Okay, so use it as a lead capture.
I think
Any
the
questions?
file upload is really cool. I just think in our world, people aren't always tech savvy enough. And I'm like, that's kind of like just scares me a little.
Mhm.
Like, I would say most of the people that I work with have a hard time even with the DocuSign.
With DocuSign.
Like,
Yeah.
just in general, like, and
Yeah.
that's a lot easier than uploading a survey
Uh-huh.
that they don't have a picture of.
And they're like, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I thought that, like, I don't think
Uh-huh.
it's super cool. I just worry that they can
Mhm.
jack it up.
True. True.
Kristen, where are you saying to embed that? Did you say to put it on our web page or our email? Webpage?
Website.
Good, thanks.
Mhm. It would love to sit and live on your website. Okay. Again, whenever you want to go back to see all of your forms, you can do that by this right here, back at the dashboard for forms. You can see all of them. Little dots, you can remove it anytime you like. You can rename it, and you can also open it up in a new tab. Say that you wanted to copy a form. Maybe you have one formatted just beautifully. You would go into whatever form you wanted to copy. Click on your dots. You can make a copy right there. Okay. If you want to print them, once they're completed, you can print them. For those of you who like paper and that makes you feel more comfortable, you can do that. Collaborators, you can add a collaborator. I've done this a few times. This will allow people to copy it, print it, download it. I don't really utilize it all that often because to me, I just forward it because once they complete the form, it'll email you and it emails you the completed form as well as a PDF attachment. So to me, it's just doing twice the work when you don't have to because it does it for you anytime that they submit their responses.
Would you, in a collaboration, maybe want two people working to come up with the form?
I think it's more like for the collaborator, it's more once the form has already been completed. So to me, it just doesn't really seem necessary because it's going to automatically send me, the owner of the form, a completed PDF of the responses as well as the email version of the responses that I can just hit forward and then they have it. So it doesn't notify them when it notifies me. So to me, they've kind of missed the mark on the whole collaborator part. So any questions at all on Google Forms or any of the ideas that we've gone through on how to utilize them?
Can you show? I mean, they can finish their questions, but will you show me how to add it to my website?
Certainly.
I mean, I saw on the form, but I don't know on Boosh how to do it.
Yeah, yeah,
I might go get my computer.
of course. I'm happy to. Let me see.
If they have other questions,
Oh, sorry, guys. Just moved my window around. Okay. That one has a file upload. Let me find a form that does not ask for a file. Actually, it asked, can you demonstrate how to utilize the embed function? I'm going to do my very best to show you guys. And I say that because I'm limited on my Booge capabilities because I'm not licensed.
you will use mine.
Yeah, I might have to.
I haven't been in it in forever,
Okay.
but I've been thinking how much I need to, there's so many things
Okay, yeah, this doesn't have one.
on the business that I need to do that I haven't done.
So here is what it looks like, you guys. This one does not request a file to be uploaded, so we'll put this one on there. This is the link that is an HTML embed link. It's an iframe, which means it just looks like a little box that sits on your website. And you can choose how big or small it is. So if it's something that you want to stand out, you can go bigger on the pixels. It defaults to 700 by 520. We'll keep it that way just because why not? So I'm going to click on copy and it copies our link. Okay, let me move over to Booge. Hello. Okay. Remax.net. I'll try mine first and just see. Pray that that's the right password. I think it is. It's always like a, well, maybe it is, maybe it's not. Ta-da, now we're in Max Center.
Okay, where did you go to get that? Hold on.
Booge.
Responses, then the.
You'll go to
toolbar.
send, and then click on the last, it looks like two little brackets.
Okay.
Yeah, Ashley, I'm gonna have to hop into yours. I don't have access to the website.
I know, I'm already in.
Maybe, oh, you know what? Maybe I can do, I'm gonna do Charlie's. Me. I know. Well, and that's like my biggest complaint with Remax right now, because I'm like, for the love of God, can I please just have access to these things? Because I'm the one that has to teach it. So it's like, I should have all the free access in the world to these different components.
So, I'm in Booge.
Okay, so then we'll go to website.
And
Mhm.
then website settings.
We'll go to
dashboard.
Booge, we'll go to website and then dashboard. Okay. So from the top menu, website and then dashboard. And then what we'll do is I like to always go into edit, and you might have a different layout, but what you're looking for is this current homepage, whatever, and the little pencil, edit agent layout, whatever your layout is. Okay,
Okay.
add a block.
Wait, where am I adding the block though?
What do you mean?
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. I'm going to try to do it as a button first to see if I can embed it that way.
And then you just paste the link. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, but let me see. I didn't format this right. So let me go into a different block and see if I can work around it. Let's see. No. Hang with me, guys.
Contact them. See, it's already in there.
Yeah, but it should, let me look at a preview. It should, like when you have that embed link, because it's just plain text, what it should do is create that box where your form is going to be visible, and it didn't. So that's fine. I get to add that to my list of tech talk tomorrow with our technology consultant, because we should have the ability to add those in. So I will get back to you guys on that.
Okay, so we can't do it.
No, not that I've seen, not because it should work in a text box no matter what, and it didn't. And I don't think it's going to work on the video box either, because it'll have to be,
So what is it called that we added? Let me go.
it's the little iframe or whatever. Mhm. Or movies.
Yeah.
Button and video. So you guys, I will email each of you with an update tomorrow. My call with his name is Tim. He's been a huge help to me, and we meet tomorrow afternoon. So I'll email y'all tomorrow afternoon with an update on how we can embed that in there. And just so you guys are curious, this is what we're going to do to add that separate web page, your landing page. It'll be much of the same process. We'll just add a page instead of a block. Okay. And if you need to also publish your site, that is incredibly
Oh, wait,
simple.
you did it on my page.
What?
I have my Google Forms on here.
Good.
If you click here, you did my page.
Is it just a clickable link or is it embedded?
No, it's like with this, like
Mhm.
interested in buying, I can't wait to help you. Tell me about your needs. And you click here, and that's my Google Form.
Go back to the page.
That's not what you want.
Let me see. Okay, so I made it a link. So yes, so Ashley was like, you made it on my page. We used it as a link to a button that lives on her page to get to her form. That is always an option because it's just a standard link. What I would like to accomplish is where your form is sitting on your page, where they can fill it out on your web page. Okay, so two different things, but you can add a link as a button on your web page, like what Ashley was talking about. And it'll go to the form. Like hers, it said, what does it say?
Interested in buying.
Interested in buying, tell me more, and they click on that and it takes them to the form. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I'm bummed because I wanted y'all to be able to see it. But that's okay. I'll have an answer for you shortly. Now, to get back to what we were talking about to publish your site, it is so easy. If y'all have not published, please do so. It helps with search engine results. You go to website, dashboard. If yours is not published, it will have a green button right here to say publish, and you click on it. That's literally all there is to it. It should not take you more than 10 seconds. The only way that it would be a little bit longer is if you do not have your brokerage services disclosure uploaded. Okay, and it'll tell you like you need a TREC notice. That keeps you compliant with TREC's rules and regulations.
What page were you going to publish? I don't have that.
Website and then dashboard. And then at the top, it'll light up here and it'll either say publish right here if you haven't, or unpublish if you already are. Where do you put your TREC notice? You'll click on website and then website settings. And they're here at the bottom, state specific notices.
Yeah, that's what I started it.
A couple of other new options since we're here. If you would like to show additional listings beyond your own, you would click on show my listings as well as listings from, I always click on my office because it's everyone's. And if you want certain types of featured listings, then you can click on all of these. I click on all of them. Anytime I publish someone's site, I go into all of them and I want to see for sale and pending because things can fall apart. You can also choose whether you want the site to be relaxed or restricted. Relaxed meaning they're not going to be prompted to create an account to access the information on your site. Restricted, you can let them see like 2 or 3 things and then it's going to prompt them to register for an account. Totally up to you. Okay, do you have any questions on that? Okay, well, if you do, let me know. I'm happy to help however I can with Google Forms, with Booge websites, with how to incorporate the two. Y'all just let me know, and I appreciate you being here. And I hope you'll have a good week.
Thank you, Kristen.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'll see y'all soon.
Thanks so
Bye.
much.